What is going on, YouTube? So today I want to talk about panic attacks while driving. All right, one of the worst things about having panic disorder, in my opinion, it didn't happen at first. I wasn't, accustomed to having panic or high anxiety while driving. It never was something that bothered me. Even in the beginning of my panic disorder, I had my first panic attack. Thought I was having a heart attack, and then I had certain triggers, but I wasn't necessarily afraid of driving or anything like that. So kind of my story. Eventually it started happening mainly when I had to drive probably longer than like 30 or 40 minutes to get anywhere. Just the fact of being in the car, not being able to get out, either having to pull over, asking somebody else to pull over, was probably one of the main causes and why it seemed to be a huge trigger for me. I was scared of having a heart attack in the car while I was driving and then losing consciousness and swerving off and killing somebody else, or just leaving this trail of destruction. I was scared I was always having a stroke while I was driving. If I was driving and I saw these crazy flashes of light, which was like the sunlight coming through the trees while I was driving, it would make me feel like I was going to have a seizure. Any issue with anxiety or pain or sensations in my body that I was feeling was like maximized tremendously when I got in the car, and it was horrible. It made getting to work miserable. I was late to work many times. I eventually became a GM of a sporting goods store, which is unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on this channel, but I actually had to quit that job. I resigned that job because my anxiety level was at an all-time high, and it was a pretty good job. I got some good manager experience out of it, and my big manager did not want me to quit. He thought I was doing a great job, and I thought I was doing a great job, but I was having panic attacks at work. I couldn't do anything. The drive there was a 45-minute drive, and all the way there I'm clenching my chest. I'm just doing this. I'm rubbing the middle of my chest, feeling weird sharp pains, felt like I was fainting. I would have to pull over. I would pull over. If there was a gas station, I'd go in and grab me water. I would be on the side of the road while people were driving by, and I'm doing push-ups on the side of the road, and I have to just be embarrassed and suck that up, and I had to do what I had to do to get through it. As my anxiety, of course, got better over the next couple years or so, the anxiety in the car kind of went away. Do I ever get it now? Very, very rarely do I ever get it, but I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to put a number on it. Maybe once every 6 to 9 months I might get a little anxious when I'm driving, which thank God. Something else that was bad about having panic attack while you're driving, it makes you drive faster. I felt like whenever I was having panic attacks that I was going like 10 to 20 miles over the speed limit, and that was really scary. I had to slow down. I felt like I was shaky, trembly, so I had more erratic turns. It was just dangerous. So if you're having a huge panic attack and you're trying to get somewhere, I suggest just pulling over and trying your hardest to try to settle down. That's the best thing you can do. It's not worth it to hurt anybody else or hurt yourself or get into a wreck or accident. I'm not saying that you're dying or anything like that, because I don't want to freak anybody out. But just pull over. Make sure that you're drinking water with you. Water saved my life. It gave me something to do. It kept me busy. Turn on some of your favorite music, sing, and then make yourself sing. Okay, this helped with me. I'd put in my favorite CD, and I would just block everything else out, and I would act like there was nothing horrible going on with me, and I would just sing, and that kind of distracted me. It didn't help me every time, but sometimes it did. Just like the water didn't help me every time. If you have to pull over, do it. I would get out and pace, because that's what I needed to do. Being confined in that car was actually one of the things that would make me have a panic attack. It was kind of automatic. So that's something that I dealt with. Also, if you got to get out and run in place or do push-ups or jumping jacks or something to exercise helps. It gets a lot of stress out. Do it. If you got to get out and call somebody that can support you, I used to call my mom. If you have anybody that you can call and talk to about your issues, do it. Maybe it'll help. Call your job and let them know what's going on, and that you're going to be running a little bit late, and that you explain to them the situation. It's worth it. It's worth to just do that and pull over and try to calm yourself down than to keep on going, risk getting into a wreck, an accident, or just having this crazy escalation. And mine was driven by health anxiety. I always thought I had a heart problem. I thought I was having a stroke. I thought I was having a seizure. So when I got in the car, this was just a nightmare for me. I was terrified. I was like, I'm gonna die while driving, and I'm gonna be one of those people that like has a crazy, massive heart attack, and I just slump over, and then I hit somebody else head on, killing 4 more people. And then I was starting to worry, like, if I die while I'm driving, are they going to be able to find out on the autopsy that I had a heart attack? Or are they just going to think I was suicidal and tried to kill it? See how crazy my mind is? Like, I just go into these crazy thought patterns. So this is how I felt. I had crazy anxiety, crazy panic disorder, hypochondria, health anxiety, whichever one, whatever you want to call that. I had it all, and it was just this crazy, vicious cycle over and over and over. So if you're going through this, I'm so sorry, because I know how frustrating it can be. I know how, some people are just terrified to drive because of other drivers. Now, this is just my story. Some people are scared and have panic attacks because they're scared that somebody's going to hit them. They get anxious when they go on long trips, just for whatever reasons. Everybody has different reasons. But my biggest belief is, like, the reason that we have panic attacks while we drive is just like, you can't do nothing about it, okay? You're trapped. You can't pace. You can't run away. You're stuck in a vehicle. Whenever you're driving by yourself, you can always pull over, and that's the good thing. You don't want to, but you got to. And the deal is that you don't want to because you're trying to get somewhere. Usually we're always behind. That's how we are. Time is money. We're trying to get to where we're trying to get, so it's such a huge inconvenience. We don't want to pull over. We're stubborn, so it just gets worse. And then we dread getting in the car the next time. But if you're with somebody else and you're driving, this is where it gets very icky, I guess. It's scary because you don't want to tell that person you're having a panic attack. You don't want to annoy them. You don't want to make them pull over. You don't want them to talk bad about you, think bad about you. This happened to me with 2 of my good friends at different times. I was driving back from Nacogdoches to my hometown, and it was about an hour and 15-minute drive. I was fine the first 30 minutes. I had my water, ran out of water. There was no town for a long time. It was the middle of the night. We were racing to hurry up and get back home. We had something to go to. I think it was like a party or something. And, he's my age. He would understand, and I kind of told him at the very end, but I just didn't want to, I was just embarrassed. I wanted to be a man. You don't want to show weakness. And with panic attacks, I know weakness comes out a lot, and people want to think that if you have a mental problem or a mental issue, you're just weak-minded, and that's not the truth. We're all different. We go through different things, and different things cause this. So, I didn't say anything to him, and then I just remember just being like crazy. I thought I was about to die, and we got into Palestine, and I was like, hey, can you stop here? And he knew something was wrong. He knew I had an issue with panic attacks, so he said you always can tell when I was having one, because I would get kind of quiet. So he said he could always tell, even though I wasn't telling him. So I got out. I remember going into the gas station to get my water, and I was like trembling. I was, shaking, and then I barely got my money out and put it on the counter, and I got my water, and I started chugging it in front of the cashier. It was horrible. It's just embarrassing, and this is what I went through. It led to me quitting my job. I couldn't take that 45-minute commute anymore. I couldn't do it. I couldn't work the hours. I had left my job a couple times with panic attacks and went to the hospital and I got my assistant to cover for me. I was talented at what I did, but, my mental issue kind of brought that, to, I guess, an end. And like I said, I'm great now. I don't deal with any of these issues, 99% of the time, thank goodness. But whenever, you're in the car with somebody else, it's a nightmare. You're scared that they're going to judge you, especially if it's somebody you don't know. Like, hey, pull over so I can pace and do my push-ups on the side of the road so I can be normal. And this also happened to another friend. Well, to a friend. He was taking me from my home to Nacogdoches. We were going to go hang out, okay? We were going to go golfing. We were going to go out to eat. And then I think we were going to go later that night, go to like a bar or something, hang out. And, he wasn't from there, so I was like, oh, we're going to show him a good time. So we're leaving the house. And on the way to town, like, I had this crazy panic attack. I tell him he's got to pull over. I'm outside pacing back and forth for 45 minutes. I call my mom. She has to, like, try to calm me down. I think I'm going to die. I keep telling him over and over, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. So it was very, very embarrassing. Luckily, that is my actual best friend, so he understood. And he was cool about it. And, if somebody loves you or claims that they love you or that you're your friend, they're going to understand, okay? That's the good thing about having real, true friends. and we ended up going to the restaurant. I didn't order any food. He didn't. I just got me one beer or something. I was desperate. I didn't want to drink any beer because I was like, it's not going to make my anxiety better, really, in the long run. But I was like, I need something to calm me down now before we just go back home. And we just ended up going right back home and ended up going home early that day. And it was just such a disappointment. It ruined my whole day. It ruined our plans, ruined what we were going to do. And panic attacks can really do that for you. They can just get in the way of everything and ruin your day. You think you're going to go do something, and then it's like, hello, no, not today. I'm going to give you a panic attack. So if you're going through panic attacks in general, make sure you check out some of the other videos on my channel. I'm going to put a playlist up here about panic attacks, health anxiety, and then there's a playlist just for general anxiety. Make sure you check those out, okay? What you can do, guys, is I'm also going to put a video on here, stop panic attacks. I think I give you 5 different ways. Make sure you click on that and check that out as well. What you can do, guys, is just make sure that you're getting anxiety in general in check, okay? Once you get your general anxiety under control, panic attacks just kind of get suffocated out and you don't have them as much, okay? So you need to make sure you exercise all the time. That can really wear you out. Your body don't even have the adrenaline, the capability to even get freaked out as much as you would if you just have all that pent-up energy. Exercise till you're freaking worn out, okay? Get your sleep. You need your sleep, all right? Make sure that you're eating the right foods, because many people overlook this, but there's something wrong with our diet. Sometimes, whenever we have crazy anxiety, it can be a signal that something else isn't right, okay? And one of them could be your diet. For me, I was just drinking too much beer, and that's what did it to me. But I also wasn't eating that great. So once I got my exercise on track, I got my diet in place where I could have the proper foods, which is plant-based, lean meats, cutting out excess sugar and caffeine especially, knock that out. If you have panic attacks, caffeine is not your friend. Plain and simple. I couldn't drink energy drinks, coffee, none of that. Basically made everything worse. Cut out the alcohol. It's going to make your panic attacks worse in the long run, especially the day after. Cut out tobacco. Tobacco is going to speed your heart rate up. It's probably going to set you off for a panic attack. A couple other things. You need to work on meditating. Meditate in the mornings, meditate in the evenings. This is the time when you have the most impact over your subconscious mind, and it's the best time to make a change, okay? Get those negative thoughts out. Visualize your day, see it the way you want it to go. Just work on yourself, okay? Positive thinking is another big thing that you just need to practice all day long. You have to break this cycle, and that's the tough part. You can go a month without a panic attack, and then bam, you have one. But I promise you, if you just keep putting all these things in place, things will get better, okay? Those panic attacks will get further in between, and things will get better. So just pay attention to your body. Take good care of yourself, okay? Join the Facebook group down below. It's for anxiety, stress, and panic attack support. We got like 37 members in there now. I'm so proud of that group. They do great with helping each other. They give good advice to each other. I put my videos there. Also, if you don't get a chance to get on YouTube, please join that support group if you haven't and you're a subscriber of mine and you're interested in that, okay? It's a great place to get together and talk to each other about your issues. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Hit that notification bell next to it so you can get updates whenever I come out with videos. Join my social networks down below. If you haven't joined my Instagram, join it, because I just changed the name of it. It was Life and Recovery. That was my old channel name. Now I just changed it to, I believe it was Anxiety, Stress, Panic Attack Support Group or something like that. Sorry, I just now made the name up. It was ridiculously long because every name in the book that had to do with anything with stress or anxiety support was taken, so I had to put some ridiculous name on there. So make sure you join that. I've got over 2,500 followers on that, so I'm going to start posting more images and motivational pictures and stuff on there, so be sure to be a part of that. Like this video, leave me a comment down below if you liked the video, and if I helped you with your issue with panic attacks. If you got any advice for any of the viewers about what you can do whenever you're having panic attacks in general, but panic attacks while driving in a car, make sure you leave that down below to help out the rest of the subscribers. I hope you have a great day, guys. I hope you had a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching, guys. You guys are great. Have a good one.